Hey everybody and welcome to TPG Reviews. So today I'm going to talk about the Netflix only original film Dumplin. Now if you haven't seen Dumplin, good. But this might contain some spoilers for you. I try not to give a lot of spoilers in my reviews, but sometimes it's kind of hard to tell the story without it. So let's get started. So Dumplin, I didn't really know anything about this movie. It's based on a book by Julie Murphy, but I kept seeing all this stuff pop up on my Facebook and tweets from Dolly Parton talking about this movie. So my first thought is, oh, it must be a Dolly Parton film, a new film that Dolly's in. So I of course looked it up and realized it wasn't. It was just that Dolly was doing the music for the film. But in reality, you could actually kind of sort of say Dolly's a character in the movie, and I'm going to talk about that real quick. So the movie stars Jennifer Aniston and Danielle McDonald, as well as many other people who I'm going to talk about throughout this review. But the first thing is that it is about a young girl, Dumplin, who's played brilliantly by Danielle McDonald, who is from Australia, by the way, who's an overweight girl who has a confidence about herself that's just awesome. She is very funny. Her real name is Willow Dean, but her mother, of course, calls her Dumplin. Her mother, Rosie, is played by Jennifer Aniston, who is a former beauty queen who hasn't quite gotten over the fact that she's a former beauty queen. And she sometimes forgets about her daughter. Basically, her daughter, Willa Dean, or Dumplin, was raised mostly by her mother's sister, her Aunt Lucy, as Willa Dean calls her, Aunt Lucy, because her mom was so busy with the pageant scene and trying to work and do all this kind of stuff that she often just forgot about her own daughter. Lucy was another big girl who was very, very confident with herself. As Jennifer Aniston quotes in the movie, Lucy's confidence scared her. She just had a heart of gold, and she taught Willa Dean many things about herself, including how to love herself. And she also had a great love for Dolly Parton, which she passed on to Willa Dean, or to Dumplin. Dolly Parton, they would have parties every week to honor Dolly Parton and things like that. And her music is all throughout the film, as well as her, because there's pictures of her and they constantly talk about Dolly, hence why Dolly Parton is a character. Willa Dean pulls a lot of her strength from Dolly Parton. So, and Dolly Parton's music and songs and things like this. So basically, that's what Dolly Parton has to do with it. Now, while she's younger, Danielle is introduced to another young girl named Ellen, who becomes friends with her, and she's played by Adelia Rush, who was very, very good. She's an Israeli actress, and I just really enjoyed her performance. And the two of them become best friends. They both learn to love Dolly, and they have such a great friendship. So throughout this movie, you find out that Dumplin has all kinds of fun things about her. She's always being made fun of for being big and things like that, and she finally just about has enough of it. She also hates being called Dumplin, which is the nickname that her mother has given her. So there's a young boy that works with her. His name is Bo, and he's played by Luke Benward. And Bo gives her a magic 8 ball, and her friend Ellen tries to convince her that, it's because Bo likes her. And she doesn't believe that because Bo is the really attractive guy, and Dumplin believes that boys that look like Bo doesn't like girls like her. Now, there's a small part in it played by Dove Cameron. She plays one of the beauty queen contestants who actually has kind of a little crush on Bo herself. Dove Cameron from Nickelodeon and Disney Channel, as well as from Hairspray Live. Speaking of Hairspray Live, another character that I thought was excellent in the movie was Maddie Ballio, who played Tracy Turnblad in Hairspray Live, and she plays Millicent Milchuk. And her character is so endearing and so loving from the very beginning. She just holds on to your heart and just rides it all the way to the end. So basically, then there's one more character I want to talk about, played by Bex Taylor Claus, who you might know from Scream, the TV series. She plays Hannah, and she's just kind of this very masculine girl that kind of meets up with these girls. But basically what happens is Dumplin decides she's going to run in this beauty pageant to kind of just revolt against the whole beauty pageant scene and to kind of make her mama mad. Well, the other two girls, Hannah and Millicent, decide they're going to do it too, as well as Ellen, and they're all going to kind of do this revolt thing. But as they start to do the pageant, they start to realize a lot of things about themselves. So one day, while Dumplin is going through some stuff, she comes across some of her aunt's stuff, and she sees this flyer for a Dolly Parton show at a bar. every Saturday night. So by this time, she calls two of her friends, or she calls them the weirdos, Hannah and Millicent, and takes them to this club. They go to try to get in. Of course, they don't have ID, but the guy at the door notices her when she says her Aunt Lucy, because her Aunt Lucy has by this time passed on. She's passed away, and everyone really misses Lucy. And so he's like, "Oh my gosh, you look just like Lucy. Or please come inside." And when they get inside the bar, you discover that it is a drag bar. And you get to see one of my favorite drag performers in the world, Ginger Minge from RuPaul's Drag Race, as one of the drag queens, who actually has a pretty decent part in the show. And they see these drag queens who are all doing Dolly Parton. And afterwards, she's taken to the dressing room to meet one of the drag queens, an African American one, played by Harold Pinaru, named Lee. And Lee is wonderful character in the movie. He was a very good friend of Lucy's. He says that Lucy gave him his confidence to be on stage. He embraces Dumplin, tells her she's beautiful, tells her to listen to the words of her aunt, and to listen to the words of Dolly Parton. Well, it ends up that these girls end up getting help from these female impersonators to become better performers in the beauty pageant. And they get to compete. And I'm not going to tell you any more than that, because I don't want to say who wins or loses or anything like that. But I just want to say that this movie was really, really good in so many ways. Like, I cried a lot in this movie. It was very tear-jerking, because it makes you have confidence in yourself. And what the point is like the boy Beau, he really does like her, but she doesn't think that a boy like him could like her. But really, a lot of people don't think of her as a big girl. They love the person that she is. She's very brassy. She's very confident. She's very fun to be around. So a lot of people see that. So throughout this movie, you see how her own self changes in the fact that she has to accept that not everyone in the world sees her as a bad thing for being an overweight girl. That she is a confident woman. It also helps Millicent, as well as Hannah, as well as Ellen, and so many other people throughout. Even Jennifer Aniston, whose character is not very nice in the beginning. Not a very nice character at all. You almost don't like the mother. To kind of come around, there's a big scene where she comes around, you kind of see a lot about the mother and what happened with the mother. And it's so touching. It's very, very poignant. The movie's great. It has a very wonderful, happy ending. The first time I saw it, as I said, I thought, okay, that's a little Hollywood ending. But at the end, when it actually wasn't, when I watched it again, it wasn't a Hollywood ending. It was a real ending that it really could end that way in real life. It was very well done. And then, of course, there's a big fun number at the end to one of Dolly Parton's songs where there are, and it's just such a great, great feel-good film. I'd like to read the book. I have to try to locate the book and get a copy of the book, because I think it's just a wonderful story. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It is really fun. If you know Dolly Parton's music like I did, I grew up with Dolly. My mom was a big Dolly fan. It has great songs like Here You Come Again, 9 to 5, Better Get to Livin', Jolene, Two Doors Down, and some newer songs as well that Dolly has. Dumb Blonde, which is an old Dolly song, which in the movie is a duet with her and Miranda Lambert. And there's just a lot of great stuff in the movie. It is a fun movie. Well acted. I think so many of the characters grab you by the heart and they pull you in. Like when you go to the drag bar, Lee and the other drag queen played by Ginger Minge, their characters just grip you and they hold into you and make you laugh, and you're like, oh, they're so fun and they're so sweet. Catherine and Jimmy has a very, very small part, but even in the small part that she has in the film, her character is so important to the film and so important to the storyline, because she's mentioned all throughout the movie. But when you finally see her, you're like, oh God, that's her. But they're so real and so gripping, I think, with these characters. You almost forget that they're acting. And it really does. It grabs a hold of you. It makes you stand up and cheer. It makes you be proud of who you are, and to say, hey, I'm me and I'm not going to change that. So if you haven't seen it on Netflix, go and watch it. It's not a very long movie. It wouldn't take you very long to watch Dumplin. But I hope that you all get a chance to see it, because really it is a movie not to miss. Okay? All right, guys, take care of yourself. Remember to be the best you that you can be, because that's all you got. And remember to be yourself, because everyone else's hate is taken. And remember, hating is a disease, and some folks need to get well soon. All right, guys, love you. Remember, Dumplin, Netflix only original movie. Watch it on Netflix. Bye.